Morning, my friends. The tower, let's talk about it. Jesus, coffee, yay. Still entirely too cold here. So, let's talk about Proverbs 18. Let's talk about the tower. What I love about Proverbs 18 is it's a contrast between the upright and the wicked. So, why do I love that? Well, because it shows us in there, like, what is Proverbs? Right? Proverbs is a book of wisdom. Right? You go in and you read Proverbs every day, which, oh, by the way, there's 31 Proverbs. So God's like, I give you a chapter of wisdom every day. If you go in and you read a proverb a day, and you apply something from that proverb to your life, life will change for the better, right? Because he's giving you wisdom, right? And what do we know from James 1? He who lacks wisdom, ask God and he will give it generously and without reproach. And what you see in the book of Proverbs is it's not just one chapter is one nugget of wisdom. There are many nuggets of wisdom in that one chapter. What I love about chapter 18 is it's a compare and contrast between the upright and the wicked. So it kind of helps you to see what to do and what not to do. Sorry, I got done with a sneezing fit before I came on. As I was setting everything up, I had like 8 sneeze fit. Good morning, Deb. So I want to go into verses 10 and 11. And I want to show you the compare and contrast between verses 10 and 11. Hello, Linda. Good morning. So, verse 10, which is this morning's YouVersion verse of the day. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and is safe. So it's the name of the Lord, right? Not the Lord is a strong tower. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. Right? You look at towers today, towers are built on a lot of money and a lot of steel. And they fall. Right? We saw that in New York, 20 something years ago. 25 years ago we saw that, or 24 years ago we saw that. Right? They fall. They're steel. We won't get into all of that. But the name of the Lord is our tower. We try and make towers for ourselves, right? His name is our tower, and the righteous run into it. I want you to see the compare and contrast in verse 11. A rich man's wealth is his strong city, and like a high wall is in his own imagination. So the rich man thinks that he's got it all, right? A rich man's wealth is his strong city, and like a high wall in his own imagination. So that's great. I got money. It's my city, and I got a high wall. But it's all in his imagination, because it can be gone just that quick. When we try and build our own towers, and we try and create our own towers, and we try and run to those towers, they're not going to last. They don't save. They don't save us physically, and they're certainly not going to save us spiritually. Right? Because with all of that comes the unrest in their souls, right? Because they're always looking for something else. I gotta have more. I gotta have more. I gotta have more. I need a lot of cars. They're always spinning their own wheels. Instead of running to the tower of the Lord's name and letting Him be your shelter. Right? The name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous man runs into it and is safe. There's safety. Why? Because He's the Creator. When we begin to love the created more than the Creator, it's a problem. It's called idolatry, friends. We don't love the created more than we don't love the creation more than we love the Creator. He makes it all. So, we often want to rest in what we've done. We want to rest in what we have instead of resting in the name of the Lord. Right? This is what it's all about. The name of the Lord, the Word, His truth. This is where He talks to you. This is where He gives you wisdom. This is where He gives you peace. This is where He gives you rest. This is where He gives you counsel. Spend time in there. When we start spending more time on this than we do in this, it's a problem. It's a problem. Because that becomes an idol. It becomes an idol we run to and we cling to. We have a hole in our heart that's shaped for the Lord. It's His throne. But we start breaking out a Dremel tool and we start shaping it and forming it to fit what we want to put in there. Whether that's a person, whether that's a creation, whether that's a house, a car. If there's something you're holding on to that you haven't surrendered to the Lord, it's where you need to do a deep introspective look. Is there somebody in my life that I'm putting ahead of God? Is there something in my life I'm putting ahead of God? Where does God fall in my life? Because He shouldn't fall anywhere. He should lead everything. Right? Make sense? And again, I don't sit here in a spout of I'm perfect, I'm great. No, I'm not. I'm broken. And I have my own battles. I have my own fights. You know, I was telling Leah this morning that the past couple days, I've wandered onto TikTok. And I've watched all of these corals, watched all of these false teachers, actual heretics. People so often now want to throw around the word heresy. You're a heresy. And they have no idea what it means. Guys, we don't run to a thing. We don't run to what we think is a safe place. We run to the Lord. What does He tell us? What does Jesus tell us in Matthew 11? Long after the words of that proverb were written. Matthew 11, verse 28. Come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your soul. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. He doesn't say He's going to take it all away. He just says, I'm going to make it manageable when you come to me. When you find rest in me, I'm going to make that manageable for you. Why? Because I love you. Because when you come to him and you believe in him and you believe in what he has done and you believe in his name, there's power in that, right? What did the Proverbs say? That's our tower. That's where we run. And that's where we find safety. We run to the name of the Lord. We run to Jesus. We don't run away from him. I hear people say, I feel like I'm so far away from the Lord. Well, it's because you've moved away from him. He hasn't moved away from you. So turn around. Stop. Stop running. First of all, stop. Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. My name will be exalted in the nations. My name will be exalted on the earth. Be still. Stop running. Quit fighting. Cease striving. Just be still. And turn around and look. There's not a big, scary monster behind you that's chasing you. That's what the enemy wants you to believe. That's what you're running from. Whether that's running from past, that's running from hurt, whatever that is, don't run from it. You turn around and look, and there's going to be nail-pierced hands just waiting to hold you. Because he's already paid the price. He's already done what was needed. He did all the heavy lifting, all the hard work. And he just wants you to rest in it. And how do you rest in it? You run to him. Because his name is the safe tower that we run to. Make sense? So, I love you guys. He loves you like crazy. He really, really does. Seriously. I tell you that. And I pray that hearing that every day, that it's not just words, but it penetrates the heart. And the seed lands in the soil. And that it's good soil. I pray that over each and every person that I encounter, that the Lord makes that soil good soil so that the seed lands, so he can bring the increase, so that he can draw them to himself. So, we'll be back tomorrow with whatever Dad wants to talk about. I love you guys. I really do.